Hello everybody, welcome back to Motorsport Manager. It's time for the 8th race in Vancouver of the 2020 season as we try to continue locking down clinching the championship here. And the Speedway part of the year is over. It's now time to go back to the more road race-ish type of track. 12 hours interview with ORF. Ernst Tossleitner. Brakes are holding the team back. Is it true? Yeah, and I'm going to say, you know what, we're doing plenty well. He needs to stifle. So, and that didn't hurt his morale, probably because he had enough extra, so that's fine. A little bit slower on the pit stops, but we didn't have any mistakes. Tomzik wins, Menezes second. So we've got about 3 days on the brakes that we are working on. Nice of him to whine about something that we're currently doing. And we'll take a quick run through our pit crew. Well, we're definitely not going to want you for anything. Got some solid possibilities, though. Brewster, Geiger, etc. would be nice. 19 for Caldwell on the tires, so definitely going to hire you. But they normally come in like +2. And only came in at 20. So that's interesting. Now we've got a couple 20s. Got a 19 back up there. I would like to have a 19 on the front jack. Which one of these new front jack people would be best? And I think clearly that would be Brewster. I don't think we want to hang around with Gaffa there. Hire Brewster. We don't want Johnson. And then keep Geiger around as another backup option. I like that idea. We could get rid of Boggs here, because we'd still have, we've got good backups. We could bring these in if we needed anybody. So yeah, I think I want to just let Boggs go. And probably keep the rest of these. Yeah, I think that's where I'm going to want to end up with this. Our two Premier Jack people can stay out there. Let's start switching out some of these air-prone, wonderful people. Ebert. Go out for Caldwell. Goodman. We can put Lemons out there. And then I think just for the sake of... Yeah, we definitely want to replace like everybody, because these two are ready to come back in. There we go. Gets us down to 9.4, back up to second overall, behind Phoenix. We are somewhat ahead of RMG on that scale, so that gains us some time. And yeah, we've got 20s and 19s. It's almost a full set of 20s. Not quite, but we couldn't quite get there even if we had Ebert needing the rest. So let's see what we're looking at for Vancouver. The gearbox important and the suspension is important. We're going to get that first brake out there soon, but we're not going to want to use that one, I don't think. So I think we want to back off how much we're doing on this. Yeah, honestly, I want to go all the way down to there. And then if we look at our suspensions, I think I definitely want to get the suspensions out. Let's yank out the spoilers for now. And get the suspensions out there along with the engines. Get those being worked on. Then of course we're not working on the gearbox yet, but we are working on brakes, and those will not be hugely important, but we'll still boost them if we can. I have to wait and see how long the next brake lasts to see what I want to do with this balance here, and if we can get any reliability done on that next brake before the next race, or if it's going to be too late for that. Okay. Of course, a long stretch here. We've still got like 3 weeks before this is ready to use. Yeah, that's a good one. Question is, are we going to want anything else? Like, we could get the tire wear efficiency. I mean, this one is worth it. So I think this is our second one. Our third one, we will want to go up to the grate. It'll take a little more time, but it will be a boost. Okay, so yeah, 17 days, 4 days before the race, and then it'll be that much longer for the next one. Yeah, let's just stick with the 2 and see how far up that gets us. I think it's gotta get us close by then. We get a few days away and it's still not there. I can knock it up a peg or 2. But meanwhile, let's get these engines worked on some, and most of the effort going to go towards the suspension. I think that's all going to be helpful to us, and I'm kind of curious like, how high up that's going to boost our suspension overall. We'll see when we get a little bit closer, and you can see like we may yet overtake them on the engine here. So let's see how that all plays out. We'll let this run for a while. Up to 78%. And then we've still got about 12 days. And we have overtaken first on those. Suspensions continue to improve. There's basically another week. And yeah, we're up to 84% now with still 6 days to go. I like leaving that on there. Just a few days at a time. Now we're starting to get the messages about the next race. Happy that we're still first. They're discussing reversed grids for removing qualifying. And again, I don't like that type of rule in the top tier. But I don't think I'm going to bother voting against it because it's not going to matter to us. And one of the things I'm kind of curious about is, will my voting power carry over to the next job? Or do I just sort of leave it here? We'll have to wait and see on that. So Vancouver, 80 laps. Short laps, but still, 80 laps is a lot. Suspension is the key, and RMG are the best at that. So it's a good thing we're boosting our suspensions because we're going to need it to compete with them. Ultra and Super are the tires. And our suspensions are not going to be as good as theirs, but they're improving. Okay, so how... But this is almost there. I'm going to knock it down one more peg. Because if it ends up just a hair short, I mean 88%, 90%, whatever. That's good enough. So forward to our new brakes. Then, of course, we'll be looking at the third one. Matteo Caroli says, carrying great speed through the really high-speed corners at the moment. I think it's all down to our phenomenal spoilers. Katja's done a great job with that one. Most of the other teams can barely keep up with us. All of that is excellent. New brakes. And then let's throw this, and this. And that's a long time, but I'm still going to stick with it. I still think it's the right move. It's going to be a long time after the race before those are done. Then we can start working on that next brake set. Yeah, and we're right at 90%, so right where we want to be. And we'll begin throwing that reliability out, and of course then we'll switch to maxing that for now. Then we've got a few more days to go here. Menezes is angry. Says Mateo's car is better than his. Okay, we'll fix that. Don't you even worry, we'll fix it. And time for the new vote. Menezes going in at the top of the standings, and they say, you know what, I don't see Caroli making up too much ground. Tomzik saying their car looks really strong for Vancouver. Give fans from Canada a great show. And Wickens thinks a podium finish is doable for HWA. Not too sure about that. Let's do the vote. Just see how many we have left. I believe 9. Okay, well, we're going to up that because we're going to abstain. So far, the early vote's for. Now we're shifting to against. Now shifting back. And they're actually going to go that way. No qualifying. Well, we definitely had better win then, and I think we're going to. I'd be shocked if something happened here. Then Amersfoort's Racing Emmanuel Collard going to retire. And has now been switched to reversed Drivers' Championship position grids. And we've gotten this boosted a little bit, but we're not getting too far. There'll be a lot of work to do on that before the next race. Will we take our 2nd or above or 13th or above? And I'm going to go there, of course. We're looking at 24 degrees. It's going to rain the first couple times, but then clear for the race. Regardless, at 24 degrees, that's definitely a super soft kind of day. Go with 8 there. 7 of the Ultras, because we will want those for qualifying. Okay, let's get some new parts set up and make Menezes happier in the process. So we're not ready for the new brakes to go out at all. Gearboxes are still what they were. We did give Cairoli a much better suspension. Let's see if we do this. Yeah, that makes him happy. Cairoli still has the better suspension, but Menezes, has one that's a lot closer. And we're figuring to be 4th and 7th. So that's down some. And let's see how we look overall. So our suspension up to 6th, and it's definitely above average, but considerably down below the top teams. On the other hand, we have the #1 spoiler, the #1 engine. Our overall is up a couple more spots now to 8th vehicle, and the gearbox is still terrible, but our gearbox is literally the only part now that is listed as below average. The brakes are 12th, but that's because we don't have the new ones out there. So, okay, you can say technically both of these are, but the brakes will be getting fixed soon. All of that continuing to head in the right direction. And you see, this is a super short version of Vancouver. There are much longer versions of Vancouver. This is a super short one. It's going to be high on tire wear. Could be looking at lots of changes here, or not, depending on, but yeah, super condensed track is going to make things interesting. So I would say we definitely should have no problem whatsoever maxing out our practice trims, our bonuses for the race. So it's going to rain, and indeed it is, but not immediately. And given that it's going to rain and we don't know for how long, I definitely want to start out immediately on the supers, or the super softs. There could be, potentially additional pressure on the pit stops in this track. We definitely could see some cars getting lapped. So that many laps is a much different dynamic than generally we have been looking at. So have to keep an eye on how all that plays out. And let's switch Menezes over to the supers. And both cars likely to want to go a little bit that direction. We'll pull this back a hair, but more towards the acceleration. And nope, not going qualifying. We're going race here. Menezes as well. They'll both have to switch, and I want to get as much time on the race trim super softs on the track as I can before the rain. Probably potentially work on qualifying trim after the switch over. Maybe not. We'll definitely be going to inters when that time comes. Just speed it along a little bit here. Both drivers liking that small emphasis on acceleration. You can see the turnoff there where the track would normally continue, but we just head back towards the finish line. And even though we're not near that track record they were talking about, still pretty good. We have conflicting opinions on the ballast. Okay, now we're going to start to see the rain, so let's slow down and just take a look at how wet the track is. I think we're about to hit level 2 here anyway, so it would probably be a good time to come in. Yep. Let's go ahead and come in and switch to inters. Of course, lots of turns here. We've got the one long straightaway, the one we're on right now. Well, decent straightaway, I should say. That's probably backstretch there. That's probably where we're going to want to use our power boost. And Swedenborg not looking great. Menezes had bad form at the beginning, but has much improved it since. Okay. 85%. And yeah, I don't know how long the rain's going to last. We'll switch him to qualifying and then keep her on the race trim. And then she'll come back in again shortly. Okay, so I don't think there's room here, so I think we're definitely going lower on the cornering. Maybe to about there. A little more oversteer, and I think, if anything, you're going to want to go the other way. That might be a tad high. Maybe not. What about this one? Yeah, I think I like being about there. And again, this is probably a little much. But that wouldn't be enough. So let's just give it a whirl. Switch to the inters, and of course it's going to be a very long pit stop, but that's fine. Well, we definitely nailed the speed for her. 87%, so some very nice beginnings. Let's just get set up here. Yep, stick on the race trim. And she was saying it was too much this direction. And I'm not sure about that considering what Menezes said, but let's just assume she's right. We can switch that back later. Let's go more this way. And then we'll switch this around later. Again, she's going to be back in before too much longer. Okay. And the bad driving today, at least, Swedenborg will get back out there right away. Yeah, and it looks like we're pretty much going to have rain the rest of the way. So we might be stuck at level 2 on the supers. Maybe, but even if so, we can still get level 3 on our race trim and our qualifying. Menezes says the ballast is better. And Swedenborg doesn't like it, so that just confirms that we do indeed want more weight in the front and to focus on the lower speed corners. Just waiting for that race trim to hit. Doesn't like the handling. Okay. And neither does Vaneborg, so going with the softer suspension was not the right move. Yeah, and it's going to be wet the rest of this. So we've done what we're going to be able to on everything else. Probably a lap late bringing you in, but we will live with it. And if we have more heavy rain in qualifying, of course, that will make that interesting. We might even want to use inters to qualify on, and ultras might not even be an issue. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, definitely made this setup much worse. By 10 points, they say. Well, we'll switch to qualifying first of all. Okay, so we're going to want to knock this down. And then the handling as well. So let's actually just stick with this one. And we're going to want to... going to want to be about there. Let's just give that a whirl. Menezes happy with the ballast. Oh, and coming in, which I didn't realize was going to happen. Shorter stints, of course, for qualifying. I sometimes forget that. 90%. So we just sort of need to tweak the handling back mostly. And probably a little bit more on the low speed. Then we're going to want this about where the eye is, I think, is where I'm going to want to be. So let's go there. Yeah, that's better than the alternative. And then if we... You know, we'll just try it here. That's probably not quite enough. But let's try that for a bit. Yeah, and I think we're at the point now where I just do want to do start and stops. Till we've... Oh, I was a little bit late in pulling the trigger there. But if I do start and stops and just keep bringing them in until we nail what we want. Yeah, we're not going to be able to go back out on super softs. So all we need here is we have the race trim. We need the qualifying. And then we need the inters. It's not going to be enough water to do wets either. We're stuck on inters. And then if we just keep cycling this around until we get our setup exactly where we want it. So we hit qualifying. We're ready to roll with whatever challenges that weather throws at us. Okay. 93%, a hair closer. Okay, so we went from okay to great to still great. Let's try it even lower. Good. Okay. Great. Yeah, we need a little bit lower speed yet, and we definitely need more understeer. There we go. That's all the way down on both. We'll try that. And it becomes Fainaborg, who says, well, you got the handling right. So we definitely made things a lot better than they were before. We have previously gotten the speed in line. So the only thing we care about here is the ballast. We were okay. Then we were poor, and now we're good. So okay to good. That still means probably all the way there. Back out we go, and back in we will go. Up to level 2 qualifying, level 3 enters. This does not strike me as a particularly easy track to pass on, but I'm not really sure. We still haven't nailed either cornering or the handling yet. So we're having a bit of issues here. Let's see. Okay. Great. Great. And great. We've got this wide swath of great, and I'm not sure exactly where to push it. Like, probably just want to push it a tad up and then see what that does. Then we've got good. Okay. That was great. Do I want to put... Maybe I will push the understeer even higher. Yeah, I might just want to just do that. I'm going to keep experimenting, and there we go. Swedenborg has it. I've just got to find a way to meld all three of these together now. So I need to be directly under that second E. And then here, just a hair to the right of the I. And keeping that in place. So obviously, first of all is... That's a little bit too far down. This needs to come back more. That's a little bit low. That's close. I'd like to get this a little bit lower and this a little bit to the right. That's too much. That should be really close. So let's give that a whirl and see if we've found the sweet spot for Swedenborg. Now, have we made any progress for Gustavo, or are we just even more confused than we were already? Nope, we haven't. We still don't know what we're doing. So, okay. Great. 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 And great. So it's not in that section. Maybe we need to try it. We can't really push this down anymore. Well, at least not without fixing... Because we want the acceleration down there. So if we... Yeah. Let's say we pulled that all the way... Well, no, I don't want... Hold on again. I'm changing the wrong thing. If I pull this all the way down there, yeah, we still can't. This is going to stay right about in this area. Okay, so we've kind of exhausted all of those options. I wonder if it's supposed to be just a hair this way. Okay, so about the handling. The handling is great, great, great. So obviously you don't want any higher from this. Let's just start bringing it back slowly. See if we can get it in between those two. And then yeah. So if I bring this maybe there, I think that's worth a try. Let's just see what that does. In comes Faneborg. Bingo. We did exactly what we wanted to there. Just go back out and have some fun. We're at 99%. So now Menezes is my only customer. And now we're at qualifying 3. There's really nothing else we can improve on the setup, given, or the trim rather, given our wet weather here at the moment. I feel like Gustavo's just living in the garage and not getting anything out of it. Ah ha ha ha, now he is. All the tweaking pays off. 96%. Okay, so we want to leave these two right where they are. And then the speed balance has got to come down to there. So it's a little bit lower than this. Right about there is where I want it, but that will mess up this a bit. That's still a little bit off. If I... yeah. Let's see what that does. Of course, we're going to want to bring him in again. But this is going to be close. Almost. A little bit that we got the ballast off messed it up. So we're at 98%. So if we... well, let's see where it was. Yeah, it needs to go the hair bit lower. But not quite that far. And then if... yeah, I don't think that's going to be close enough. That's a tad bit lower, then this is a bit low, and this is a bit high. Okay, let's see if that's any better at all. But I'm gonna call it good there, because 98, 99%, we're happy with that. Let's just wrap this up. Matter of fact, no reason not to max speed it. Let's go ahead and slide back to conserve. Yep, final minute of session, that's fine. She comes in with perfect ratings, as they were before. So the practice times here mean even less than they have before. We'll find out a lot more in the qualifying. That was a lot of setup work. Let's hope it ends up being worth it, but it was still rather annoying. Schnitzer is terrible, they say. Rusinov wanted to stay out there longer, had a terrible session, while DaCosta was feeling fantastic. And of course, DaCosta driving for Team Schnitzer, who they said was terrible. So that's a little bit of an ironic contradiction. Okay, so it's going to be dry at first, but only for about a minute. Not enough to get anything in. Looks like it's going to dry out at the end of the session as well. So I think we can go with, well, definitely qualifying. Let's go with qualifying and inters, even though I don't plan on using them to qualify on. Okay, both cars right on the button. 99. 98, but we're not going to be able to improve that. Okay. So I think we just hurry up and wait, is what we do here. We sit in pit row on our ultras and wait for the weather to tell us something. Of course, the other car is not as great at predicting the weather, so they're going to be going out and doing things. But yeah, we're going to have a nice dry spell at the end. And the other thing is that we can get out there quickly. The question is, how much time do we need? Since we don't have to make any changes, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to send out Cairoli at 2.5. That's a long time to wait, but it's, well, no, it's the track record is not going to be accurate. Let's go at 3. 3 minutes just to be, oh my goodness, hold on. It's going to just rain again. I still think we can get away with a lap on ultras though if we time it just right. We want to finish that lap at about 2 minutes. Yeah. There'll be very little water on the track just before that. We want to finish that lap at about 2 minutes. So if we go out at 5, and then one shortly thereafter, I don't want to, 450. 450 is what I'm going to look for. This is a little bit risky. But we're just saying we're going to go out when there's not much water on the track. A little bit, but not much. We'll go out at 450, and I'm going to go out about 15 seconds later. Let's just see if we can squeeze this in, because we're either going to look great or we're going to look stupid. Cairoli at 7.1. Go get it done. Menezes, you go. Okay, now we're not going to have much time to max these tires either. The tire temp is going to be a really cautious thing to deal with. Question is, can we even get them up to temperature in time? We will, but not by much. Okay, let's Let's nail this. Okay, now go down, go down, go down, go down, go down, get down. Get that temperature down. There we go. I think we got it. All right. So we're going to find out right now what's going to happen here. You see there's very little water, though. Almost none. I think we timed this out just about right. You just got to do it before the rain hits again. You see Cairoli well faster than anybody else that first sector. I think we did it. Oh, the rain's coming now. I didn't quite do it fast enough. It still should be plenty, though. I still think we got the first row. Cairoli easily winning. Now the question is Menezes, who's out in the rain longer. He's slower, but not that much slower. Yeah, we're way ahead of everybody else. They shouldn't be able to match us because there's going to be more water the rest of the way. So we're just going to sit around for the rest of qualifying and laugh at everybody. Well, that's a rather extreme example of how weather can really come to your benefit if you handle it right. So now we are quite literally in the driver's seat, in the front of the field for the race. And then it's sort of our race to lose. Yeah, even Menezes is almost 2 seconds up on the rest of the field. Almost 4 seconds on most of it. Not every day that Cairoli is on pole. And then if we look for RMG, our rivals, well, Tomzik is 14th and Kari 18th. So we definitely are in strong position compared to them. Tickets for a tour of our HQ, which hasn't changed a lot the last couple years. And one of the big questions here, of course, is will the weather really be clear? We nailed the first part of our bonus, and the second part should be easier to get in first or second. Well, it's going to be clear so far, but then it's going to rain. It's going to rain, looks like sometime in the early 30s. So we are going to want inters. The question is for how long? Is it worth putting a bonus on them? How long are these tires going to last? And that's weird. I didn't change the setup at all, but Cairoli's... it's the same exact setup. Whatever. We'll stick with the 98%. 32 to 34. Boy. That is tight. But if... let's see. I'm curious if Menezes is the same there. I think he will be. Yeah. So I think we want to start on supers and not push them at all. Because we want to not have to pit again before the rain. I think that's definitely the play here. Okay, so I don't see any reason not to take the super softs and the race trim. That'll help us hopefully hold off a little bit the charge of the other racers at the beginning, because you know it's coming. And I could potentially take a second lap off of fuel because of how long this track is, but I mean, yeah, because our gearbox is going to take a hit. I think I'm going to do it. Our gearbox is going to take a hit. That's unquestionable. So I'm not going to want to push it too hard, which means yeah, and I didn't change Cairoli's tires. Thought that might have happened. Double check the knowledge choices. Yes, indeed. Driver strategy, keep the tires on neutral and burn for the first couple laps. Okay. 5 and 7, solid but not spectacular, and you can see all of that behind us. A number of drivers are going to start on ultras. Cairoli is starting on the pole. Can he hold it? Well, he got off to a better start than Menezes, so the beginning says yes. Menezes having trouble already around the first turn, dropping to third for a moment. But he got it back, at least temporarily. He's trying to fight off DaCosta and Vitoris. But not going to happen anymore. Okay. And it's warm enough that I think these tires will gradually heat up on their own. First and third with DaCosta. Definitely an earlier challenger. Bunched up pretty good here at the front. But so far, Cairoli just holding it off. Menezes sliding to fourth now behind Green. Cairoli maintaining the inside line on that turn. Slide back to high here for a lap. And then, given that we've already dumped a couple of laps of fuel into this, we're going to need to back off. Whoa, and I thought I switched him back to high. I didn't do it. So that was a mistake. So I'll dump him back to medium a little bit earlier. And Cairoli pulling away a bit, but I'm not sure if that will hold. Okay, so we're first and fourth. And that would be totally fine. Although Menezes looks like he's barely holding off Spengler, but is so far. Spengler going and definitely doing well as another super soft vehicle. And yeah, now we lost the spot. First and fifth. We'll still be well ahead of RMG, and RMG is our main rival. So still, and Gustavo looking like he might have the speed to eventually get by Spengler. I think we just want to sort of stick here. And let's take a look at how much we're going to gain per lap on the fuel over the next couple. But for now, at least, we're definitely going to be sticking with the current strategy. So let's move this ahead. These are fast laps. Menezes moving up past Spengler and then up past Green. So nice couple of moves there. Looks like maybe the other car is having to back off some. Boy, he's looking at making another move here. He's trying to get by DaCosta. And might actually do it. Let's go with a bit of a speed burst here, see if that makes it happen. It does. Menezes up to second. Well, we can't really ask for any more than that. Gaining back some fuel. I don't know if it's going to be enough. My guess is we're going to end up with about half a lap extra. That's actually not a terrible position to be in. You can see DaCosta, or Cairoli rather, pulling away from the pack. Menezes back in the position of holding them off. RMG way back there. And if this result were to hold, and there's a very long way to go, of course, but if it were to hold, it would move us to that 3-race advantage and would be very likely to clinch in the next one. I'm going to speed this up a little bit more because it looks so routine right now. Ericsson with a drive-through penalty. You know what? Menezes is shaky enough. I'm going to back that off again. I think I'd like to use a speed burst with Cairoli when he comes around here. Looks like I can use about 30-35% on a stretch. And Menezes out to a little over a second lead again on DaCosta, and the tires there for DaCosta now fading. Now I think I really want to back off the tires because we're going to need to get everything we can get out of them, and they are slowly heating up. And I definitely can see us going into the red on the tires. But Menezes, almost a 3-second lead. If that gets down low at all, I'll back off the speed again. But for now, let's just zoom through this. Cairoli fading a bit on the form. Menezes is still quality, and his is the more important number at the moment. So other than a little bit of a struggle the first couple laps for Gustavo, this has been just a picture-perfect race weekend. And look at that temperature on those tires dive. Go back up to neutral. But I'm concerned about the tire wear. Yeah, I think we're going to be down into the teens, potentially even low teens, by the time we get to the rain. However, I think we will have just enough to get there. And ultimately, I think that's what's going to matter here. So there's a nice little boost for him. Go ahead and burn one for Cairoli. And the only purpose of this is just not to, just improve our margins. So you can argue about, do you save it until you need it? All that stuff, and I think right now I get between 60 and 70%. I want to burn one, and then when I get down lower, save it. So I'm balancing between increasing our margins on the field, and then also having some to use if we need it for some purpose. sometime between lap 30, low 30s, 33 to 36, 32, 35, somewhere in there is when I'm expecting that rain to begin. So tires at 45%, and we're through 2/3 of this opening stint. It looks like the rain's going to last a while. So just out of curiosity, how much longer are we going to get? Yeah. Those, we're going to have to pit again later. And so we might be doing 2 inters, or we might be doing an inter and then an ultra or a super soft later. Not sure how that's going to work. And the temperature is getting lower, which means I've got to run longer on neutral. That's not good for us. Caroli up to 6 now. Menezes at 7. So we're looking strong in terms of our driver form. Give Caroli a speed burst here. Our tires look better than anybody else except for maybe De Silvestro. Kenzie Vertanen's been in, is going to have to go in again maybe before the rain shows up. That margin between 6 and 7 seconds to Menezes seems to be holding fairly steady. As does the margin back to Timo Glock. You can see, like, just lap 27 here, and got a blue flagger. That'll hold back Caroli a bit. Go by. I'm going to slow this down a bit. Back off the tires first on Menezes, and I just want to keep these tires from getting any worse than I possibly can avoid. I want to wait for the speed boost for him to catch up there to whoever that is in the 24th spot. Go conserve. Yep, we've got to go back up already. It just doesn't last long. %, in lap 29. So basically as soon as there's any rain at all, we're definitely going to want to be coming in. We'll see if Gustavo's close enough after one more lap. Here we are, lap 30, mid-teens now. Looked like it was starting to show signs of dampness. Yep, it's getting a little bit more now. It's like they're saying there's a mist, but it's not quite raining yet or something. There it goes. Okay, so there's an 8-second gap between vehicles. Menezes, you're coming in first. You've got to use a speed burst. And then we'll bring in Cairoli the next time. So he's going to wait a little bit longer. You can see his tires are really worn. %, risk. So fairly high risk, but high performance pit crew. Here's Gustavo. That might be a new record. If not, it's close. 10.131. And I really didn't need to use much there. Menezes is third, right behind Glock, who's going to need to come in soon because of the rain. Beautiful. Matter of fact, conserve your tires. And it looks like, yeah, it looks like it'll be raining the rest of the way, which means we want to split the difference here. Looks like around lap 56, 57, we'll want to come in for our next stop. And Cairoli comes in and comes back out and does not lose the lead. I think I want to conserve on both of them because the temperature is going to go way up. Not way up, but some up. And so that's going to push our temperature up as well. I don't think we'll have a trouble with the tires wearing out, just so much as I want to be cautious on the temperature. So maybe keep it in between those two middle marks. Menezes now ahead of Glock, who comes into the pit. And yeah, that starting tire strategy really locked this race in place for us. Go back up to neutral. And I think we're ready to speed this along. Almost to the halfway point. And our form is gone down, but we're at a point where it just doesn't matter that much anymore. You see the gaps here. 16, 17 seconds. Cairoli can save plenty of energy for a while. I'll send Menezes on the next time around, then probably start conserving the tires more. Everybody's out on inters, so that's all even. Yeah, no good reason not to just speed through these laps. The main question here, quite frankly, is how are competitors doing? How is RMG holding up? And they've moved up through the field some. They're getting 12 points now. They've got 6th for Tomzik, 8th for Kari. Tomzik now slipping back to 7th. If they move up much more, they will impinge on that 3-race lead. But we can't do anything more, of course, than coming in 1st and 2nd, so that's out of our control. We can only just see what it is that they happen to be doing. Temperature now starting to rise. There's really not a whole lot else going on here at the moment. We're just going to be zooming around the track. Here we are now. This lap is the last one of the sort of the first half of the race. next time around. I think I just want to make sure I'm using my energy boosts. Be Menezes this time. I think he's losing some time to Glock, but he'd have to lose an awful lot for it to really matter. Okay, you go conserve. And back to neutral with Cairoli. I want to make sure I don't mess up the tires there. I want to keep them as low as I can, particularly for areas we have to go through traffic, which he's coming up on here. We're definitely going to have some extra fuel. Come on, boost up to neutral. There we go. Got the tires a little bit low there. RMG still hanging in 7th and 8th. Cairoli gradually picking off cars on that back straight, but now he's out of power boost. Yeah, and Glock is definitely gaining. It's no longer a probable thing. It's happening. But of course, he's probably also burning his tires, and we're not. We're just going to be constantly going through traffic here as Cairoli locks up. That's unfortunate. But just the traffic issue is not going to go away. And it'd be nice if Gustavo would race a little bit better, but it is what it is. Oh boy, I thought he was going to get by there at the end. Locks up. And we don't have a lot left on these tires. Now we could push him a little bit longer, but I don't think that's the smart play. Both drivers into the lower reaches of driver form. Gearbox is looking good enough. We've still got a solid third of the race to go, and I just don't want to push it if I have the option. I certainly do have the option here, so just going to be careful. I'm definitely glad I took off that extra bit of fuel at the beginning of the race. I think that was the right move. If If anything, it would have been almost better to take off another one. Trying to push their way back onto the lead lap. And Kari with a drive-through penalty, that's going to help us for sure. And Menezes will come in this time around. Don't really care about losing positions or any of that. Cairoli get across the line. And you're going to come in next time. Right now, we just want no screw-ups. I probably should have gone with safe pit stops, to be honest. Menezes out in fourth. Drops behind Spengler and Glock, but that will not last. Cairoli may very well, his form bouncing up, he may very well drop out of that first position here. And indeed he does. In the middle of the tire change. Good but not great pit stop. So we're second and fourth while we await the others to figure out the fact that they're going to have to come in again as well. Yeah, let's get by a couple of these. There we go. Menezes not so much caught up in anything at the moment. He's got room behind Spengler, who will be pitting soon. Cairoli a bit of room behind DuPont, who just did a nice lovely speed burst to keep it there. Glock locks up, that's helpful, and is coming into the pits with virtually no tires. Cairoli in first, Menezes second. Spengler rather, is repairing. And Menezes does not have a lot of room on Glock. So that's what we're going to be watching here. And yeah, we've got to go back to conserve now. What's your park condition? Still looking pretty good for where we are. I'm going to go ahead and go high for a little bit. Then also use some power boosts. I just want to try to keep Glock off of our rear here. Maintain that second position. Not a concern for Cairoli. And Glock still coming after it here. has more battery power and is driving perfectly. Great. Switch up to neutral on the tires. Whoa, whoa. No, 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 you don't. Speed boost and counter speed boost. And now we're pretty even in battery power. There's no question I've got to try to keep the pressure on here, and I'm not going to be able to keep this up for the whole rest of the race. That's for sure. Doggone it. Well, that about exhausts what I can do other than sticking on high for the gas. And that won't last very long either. Yep, there goes Glock again. But then we got back because of the traffic. And Glock slides to the inside, and there it is again. Okay, so this is not going to last. I'm going to switch back to medium and accept the slipping to third there. Don't think I really have much choice in the matter. Go conserve a bit and then go after it more later. About a dozen laps or so to go. Even first and third is looking good for us. RMG with 14. Yeah, they would be just within. Cairoli not driving too well now, although it just went up some. But they'd be just within the 3-race margin. Cairoli will dump some battery power here. And Menezes going conserve has dropped him well behind Glock. Might be premature, but I want to try to... Well, I got by one of them. Menezes is driving better. Not great, but better. So if he can get by, there's another one, if he holds it. Glock made another pass. Just like 5 seconds ahead. I just don't think that's going to happen. He's actually only 4 seconds behind Cairoli. I need to not be so cavalier about us even winning this. Menezes locking up. That's more bad news. So Timo Glock definitely earning his pay here. Still driving at 10.0. We'll see if Cairoli can hold him off. It is getting wetter, which is going to punish aggressive driving. I think I'll wait another lap before using another burst to get that next lap car down. you can see, Glock continuing to close. Continuing to close. Wasn't quite enough. That is very unfortunate. Although there it goes. The lovely blue flag. See if Glock gets stuck behind for any length of time. No, you don't. We're not going to spend the time coming in for wets, and anybody who does is ridiculous. Menezes, let's pick up another pass here. Cairoli's driving is unimpressive now. Menezes has really picked it up. Cairoli just trying to leg this out. And he's only got 4 laps to go. And his tires are better than Glock's, so that's not going to hurt either. Yeah, and I just don't want to risk a crash by boosting to drive more aggressively in this much rain. I'm going to try to do it without it. I think Menezes just rides this out. Glock has finally come down to a little bit closer to reality. But it's down under 3 seconds again. 2 laps to go. I think I saved that power boost till that final back straightaway on the last lap. His Glock is closing, but I don't think he passes me before then. If I've got a burst to use then, hopefully he doesn't do it then either. Temperature has gone down. Yep, he's just using some burst here. How much does he have left? Less than I do. Oh, no, you don't even. No. Whoa, what happened? It's showing that I won, and it's showing period 2 nice one. I thought there was one more lap. There should have been one more lap. It's almost like it was a photo finish and it counted us both as finishing a lap, so it ended. I'm gonna have to check the replay on that. But they're giving Glock the win. Oh, that's annoying. Very interested to see the margin of victory here. Half a second. And I could have used that burst. Oh well. Doesn't really matter that much. RMG moved up as well. 10 seconds behind was Menezes. Still sticks with Menezes and Cairoli 1 and 2. So we have a 117-point lead. 13 points short of clinching. So we will still need to beat out RMG in the next race, but not by as much, in order to finish it off then. If not, we'll postpone the celebration. Glock with the win. Yeah, whatever. Okay, nobody improving more. It looks like Menezes had actually regressed some for some reason. I'm not sure why. Okay, 4.5 Cairoli. One of his worst races of the year. 5.1 Menezes. Yeah, barely adequate on his half. So just not the best driving overall for us, but it was still a great day. Second and third. Still a great day overall. There's no getting around that. Some very nice money coming in from the sponsor. And Singapore will be the one where we try to close this out. It's expected to rain, and those brakes that we're working on should come in handy for that, although we'll only get one of them out there. The gearbox is really important there, though, and that's still not us. So I think we'll be able to pull it off, but it's far from certain. We'll be back off to Asia next time. Till then, thanks for watching, everybody. More Motorsport Manager will continue as we try to make the DTM title official.